On this episode of China Uncensored, leaders of the 20 biggest economies meet at the world's most awkward lunch table. Got a pirate problem? Try putting Chinese troops in Djibouti. And Chinese human rights lawyer Liu Xiaobo just passed away. We will not be making any jokes about that. This is China Uncensored. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Chinese dissident and Nobel Peace Prize laureate Liu Xiaobo passed away on Thursday. The cause of his death was subversive thoughts, which led to terminal liver cancer. At least that's what the Communist Party would like you to think. Actually, he was serving an 11-year prison sentence where years of mistreatment didn't exactly do wonders for his health. But rather than Chinese dissident Liu Xiaobo dies in prison, the Chinese regime felt that Chinese dissident Liu Xiaobo dies in hospital care granted by the benevolent party sounded like a better headline. So when his health got so bad it was clear he was going to die, they released him on medical parole to a hospital where he got the best care, while still being guarded 24/7. They even allowed foreign doctors to look at him. So, I mean, no one's going to blame the Communist Party for this, right? Look, State-run Global Times lays it out so clearly. It's Liu's personal misfortune to have been diagnosed with cancer, but this has nothing to do with his imprisonment. Right. Just like it was also Liu's personal misfortune to have all those subversive thoughts in the first place. It's a tragic situation all around, but on the bright side, at least Norway can sell salmon to China again. That's right, after Liu got the Nobel Prize, the Chinese regime punished Norway by no longer buying their salmon, even though Norway doesn't decide who gets Nobel Prizes. You can't make this stuff up. Speaking of awkward international relations with China, maybe you can relate to this. You're in an intimate moment with someone you care about, and you accidentally call them by the wrong name. Well, that's what happened to the US and China earlier this week. Last weekend was the G20 summit, an annual meeting of the leaders of the world's 20 largest economies. And while President Trump and Chinese leader Xi Jinping both happen to be there anyway, why not hold bilateral US-China talks on the side? What could go wrong? Well, apparently this. An official White House statement released ahead of the meeting accidentally called China the Republic of China, and not, as it should have been, the People's Republic of China. Because Republic of China actually means Taiwan, you have to add peoples to it to make it communist. Awkward. It's okay though, an apology was made and accepted. I think these two will be just fine. Wait a minute, what's that Xi's putting on Trump's back? Speaking of being friendly with world leaders, Russian President Vladimir Putin has become the first non-Chinese leader Chinese people weren't allowed to criticize. It couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. During the G20, netizens in China discovered they couldn't even mention Putin's name without their posts being blocked. Now, Putin and Bjork have something in common. They're both blocked on Weibo, China's version of Twitter. Also, they both appreciate the grace and beauty of long-necked birds. But you might think, hey, censorship doesn't affect China's savviest internet users. A lot of them just use VPN software to jump over the firewall, presumably to access the banned Icelandic experimental electropop music they've all been craving. Well, that's about to change. The Chinese regime wants to stop people from using VPNs, unless they're government-approved VPNs, which kind of defeats the purpose. This would once and for all make the Chinese internet really an intranet. The Chinese internet blocks foreign social media like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as what the outside world calls facts. But people still get access using VPNs, at least for now. But don't worry, I have a feeling people will still be able to fully enjoy their daily visit to the English-language Twitter account of state-run People's Daily. Oh, a Panda live stream! Wow, give me more. But if China doesn't have your heart, at least it has Djibouti. China has just sent troops to its first overseas military base. It's in Djibouti. Don't worry, it's for anti-piracy efforts. Not this kind of piracy. China doesn't care about that. They want to stop this kind of piracy. This is absolutely not a sinister communist plot to invade Djibouti. And those troops are lucky to be in Djibouti. Because the Chinese Communist Party is downsizing its People's Liberation Army to under 1 million troops. Before the first round of layoffs hit in 2015, there were 2.3 million soldiers in the People's Liberation Army. But I guess with even under 1 million, there's still enough troops to put in Djibouti. I know, this video was fantastic. You're welcome. But it doesn't stop here. You can watch this and 2 more segments on ChinaUncensored.tv right now. Yes, we're posting entire half-hour shows to our website with segments that aren't on YouTube yet. So click here and check it out.